Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we are back for round 4 of the comparison of Matchbox versus Hot Wheels. And this week, we've got a couple of blue bloods going head-to-head against each other. I'm talking about some Fords, and we've got a couple of JDM cars going head-to-head against each other. So this week, the way that I broke it up was I really wanted to get nice representations of each of these car models. So either the Matchbox or the Hot Wheels will have a version which is in a modified stance, and the Matchbox or Hot Wheels will have a version that is in a non-modified stance. However, they are very similar, so I tried to keep it as fair as possible by making sure that if I chose a Hot Wheels that was modified, the Matchbox would be basic, or if I chose a Matchbox that was modified, the Hot Wheels would be basic, to make it a fair comparison when we're taking a look at these models. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be comparing today. And the first group right out of the gate is a couple of wild ponies, and you guys probably know these better than me, but here they are, these beautiful Mustangs. So one is in its Shelby setup, which is the Hot Wheels representation. So this is the Shelby GT350R. We saw this out of last year's 2022 case offerings. It was in the final case, the Q case, but this is a great looking one to compare. And for the Matchbox side of the house, we're going to be taking a look at this beautiful 2019 Ford Mustang Coupe. Similar color stylings. A lot of the way that they're set up is very similar, so I felt like this was going to be a very even matchup and very even comparison to take a look at. So let's go ahead and get them out of the package and see what we got. All right, guys, so first up on the turntable is this beautiful Mustang Shelby GT350. This is out of the 2022 offerings Q case. And just looking at this bad boy on the turntable, you can admire the style and design that they put into this casting. So let's go ahead and take a look at it up close, get it off the turntable here. So right away, you're seeing those crafty design lines that you would see in a Shelby offering. Just really nice cut designs in the doors and the side panels. Typical in what you're going to see in a modern Shelby. Coming around to the front, you've got that Shelby front end, that nice chin spoiler there on the front, that beautiful Shelby hood with the Shelby striping on it. No headlight tampos on this one. And it has got a dark tint, but you can see into the car because the windows are open, so we know that it has an entire full interior. On the top, it's got a blacked out roof design painted in a black enamel. Really nice looking on that. They went with a pretty safe wheel on this. I'm not really sure I would have put these wheels on this particular casting, but you know what, it works. They're done in a nice gray, so it looks pretty good. Coming around to the back, you do have the tail light tampos, which I think is necessary whenever you have a Mustang. You've got to see those tail lights. Of course, you've got that nice Shelby badge on the back as well, and it's a really, really nice blue color. And I don't know if the lighting is doing this justice, but it definitely looks really good in this blue, the Shelby blue with the gray silver striping. Would look even better, I think, if they'd have gone with the white, but that's okay. This is what we got. Coming underneath, Hot Wheels went ahead, because this was a Shelby model, they went ahead and threw on the entire underneath drivetrain. So you do have a little bit of sculpting on the bottom of this, and I think that's a plus for this casting. So that's definitely going to give it some points in my book, and I do like the nice sleek design on this car. Now, one thing that I do note on this is it seems like it's a little bit low or a little bit smushed of a casting. Sits a little bit narrow from bottom to top. So I'm not sure if that's the proper dimensions. You'd have to probably consult the Shelby guys on that to see if that's really how they designed this. But when you take a look at the Matchbox casting, you'll see what I'm talking about as far as the dimensions of the car. But there's the Hot Wheels offering. It's looking really good. Let's go ahead and get the Matchbox offering onto the turntable. We'll keep the Shelby off to the side here, and we'll go ahead and throw the Matchbox here onto the rotating table. Get a look at that as it comes around. And this is a beauty too. This has got a nice, beautiful blue color on it. And I thought it was a good comparison to go ahead and throw blue versus blue so that we could really see how the stylizing works with that color on both cars to make it as fair as possible. And I'll go ahead and take a look at this bad boy up close. So this would be a standard Mustang. It is out of Matchbox's 2020 offerings. And they went with the standard Matchbox 5 spokes on this, which, you know what, you've heard me say it before, I love that wheel. They could throw that on every car and I'd be okay with it. I've actually swapped these wheels off of Matchbox and put them onto some Hot Wheels, and it really makes a difference. So this is probably one of the best Matchbox wheels that the Matchbox guys throw onto cars. So definitely a plus. Coming around to the front, it is fully stylized with the tampos for the headlights. We're going to see that a lot more on Matchbox because they don't do as much of the tampo work on the side, so they're able to pay a little more attention to the tampos on headlights and things like that. This one also has a nice front splitter on the front, that nice grille work there on the front, and a beautiful stylized hood right here with the aerodynamics built into it, so that looks really good. Windshields on this are smoked, so you can partially see into the interior, but like its Hot Wheels counterpart, it does have the open window, so you're able to see right inside the cockpit and see what's going on there. Nice body styling here on the side too, even for a basic coupe. It's a Mustang, so it's going to have some style to it, so it definitely looks really good like this. Coming around to the back, the Matchbox team was also able to capture that beautiful tail light tampo work back there. You got to have that screams Mustang. And every time I see a Mustang where they don't do the tail lights, I'm really disappointed. We do see that a lot from the offerings from Hot Wheels, but fortunately this time we did get some tail lights on the Hot Wheels offering as well. You got the little pony running on the back there. Really nice looking. Actually, let me look at it a little closer. So this is the GT. So it's got the GT badging on the back, not the pony, but the pony is down there on the license plate, and it's a GT model. So we're getting a little bit of an upgrade here in the Matchbox model. This is the GT version rather than the basic coupe. So it is a Mustang GT. And one thing they added on this casting they did not add on the other Hot Wheels casting is they do have the rear view mirrors added on here. I'm not sure if that's something that Hot Wheels does to cut cost or if that's part of the stylization of the Shelby, but as you can see there are the rear view mirrors on this one. So let's go ahead and put these guys side by side, let them spin for just a second, and then I'll come back and I will let you know which of these two castings I decided was the better offering. Was it the Matchbox or was it the Hot Wheels? Let's get it back on the turntable and see what the ultimate decision is going to be. All right, guys, so this is probably no surprise, but I had to go with the Hot Wheels offering on this one. This is an absolutely beautiful casting. I think that the Hot Wheels team captured every angle and aspect of what a Shelby should look like. And I did not pick this casting because it is a Shelby, because they're both very similar and the design of the cars is very similar. But overall design, the aesthetics and everything about this car just really are the epitome of what you want to see in a casting that's representing a Mustang or a Shelby in this case. And so I went ahead and I picked the Hot Wheels casting for this one. So that's going to bump us up to 4-3 if you're keeping track. It was currently 4-2 in the matchup between Hot Wheels and Matchbox. So the Hot Wheels team just closed the gap, picking up another win, making it 4-3. But we still have another set of castings left to go, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. All right, guys, so for this next matchup, we're going to be jumping into the JDM arena, and I wanted to pick, like I said, if I picked the modified in one, I would pick a non-modified in the other. I realized that I didn't have a modified version in the Matchbox so that I could do a reversal, but that's okay. It's going to be another modified one for the Hot Wheels team, but I don't think it's going to make much difference. And we're going to be going head-to-head with these two beauties from the JDM realm, and it is the Mazda MX-5, and it is absolutely a great matchup to see between these two mini racers that you'll see out there on the JDM course, ripping it up, especially in autocross. These are usually heavily modified. You see engine swaps put into these all the time because of their low curb weight. And let's see what we got when we crack these bad boys out of the package and compare them side by side. All right, guys, so up on the turntable first is the beautiful offering from Matchbox. It's in a beautiful black enamel, and it is top down, so it's the convertible version. Most of the Miatas are convertible. If you see a hard top, it's typically because they've done a conversion over to the hard top conversion. And you'll typically see those in the Racing Beat setup, which is the race division for the Mazda series. So whenever you see the hard top, it's usually the Racing Beat top that you're going to see on the top of these cars. But let's go ahead and get it off of here and take a look at it up close. And I love cars in black. I mean, who doesn't? And this one is no different. This is an absolutely beautiful casting from Matchbox. Again, they went with those 5 spokes, this time in gold. And it's just absolutely awesome to see this car. Let's get focused there. Absolutely great to see this car in black. Now, this has been offered in a couple of colors in Matchbox. The most current iteration is in white, and they've also done a red in this one as well. So definitely ones that you want to pick up if you're looking to add to your Matchbox JDM collection or your JDM collection overall. But let's sweep this around to the side. Nice clean front end. We got those beautiful headlight tampos on there. The nice Mazda badge sitting there nice and proud. Can't see a lot of detail on the front splitter here on this because of the black enamel, and it just kind of blends into the front. But it is there, and it does have a nice little plastic air intake right there where you would actually have the probably intercooler, or if it's a naturally aspirated, then that's going to be the air going up into the engine. But let's try to get refocused on this thing. All right, so coming around to the back, again, it is a Matchbox. We're having some focus issues here. We do have some beautiful taillight tampos on here as well. Again, you have that nice Mazda badge added on there. And again, difficult to see a lot of the details back here with the rear diffuser, but it is there, and it's looking really good. Coming into the cockpit, you can see right in, and this is a right side drive, so this would be a true JDM. You can get this one in both the right side and left side drive. I know a lot of people probably don't look for that when they're buying these castings, but this one is available in both right and left side. So make sure you're taking a look for that if you're looking for this casting and seeing which one you're going to pick up. Coming underneath, pretty basic. We do have a little bit of drivetrain work under here. You'll see that from time to time on both Matchbox and the Hot Wheels offerings, but it's definitely cool to see. It just adds to the aesthetic of the vehicle. And if you're going to do a custom on this, it's really nice to be able to add some details to that too, and it just really adds to the build of the car. So there you go. There is the Miata MX-5 from Matchbox. Let's go ahead and get this offering from Hot Wheels up here on the turntable. And this would be in a more racing setup. Of course, it has the spoiler on the back, and so it's a little bit different, but they are both from the same generation, both the Matchbox and Hot Wheels. This one has a few more modifications and builds to it, but it's definitely a good comparison when you're putting the two side by side. So let's go ahead and take this one off the turntable, look at it a little closer. And of course, you're gonna get some nice detailing on this because it is a race build from Hot Wheels. A little more tampo work on the side. You've got the Mazda badging and the Hot Wheels flame, some white stripes on the side, and this is done in almost a matte silver. So it's not a real shiny silver, but it does have metal flake in it, but it's kind of a matte color. So it looks really good on this, and you can see a lot of the detail. You see if I can get focused. And of course, you got those nice black, I guess that's a 10 spoke. I think that is an actual inset 10 spoke. Looks good on this. This was a good choice, and this color combination with the black wheel silver looks really, really good. This was available in a red in the same year with white 10 spokes, and that was a regular treasure hunt, I believe, for 2021, and it came without the spoiler. I wasn't going to crack that one open. Sorry, guys, I do have that one, but I wasn't going to crack that one open for the comparison, so I went ahead and went with this one. But let's come around to the front, take a look. That white striping that was on the side continues here on the front hood, which is a nice addition. No headlight tampos here, but you do have some paint featuring that Mazda badge in silver on the front. A little better detailing. You can see this nice little front lip on the front, and you can see the little splitter right here. That's the air intake for the front end of this Mazda. Just like its counterpart for Matchbox, you can see directly into the cockpit, and you have a couple of other details added on here. You have the little the roll cage that's added into the back here that would support the roof once you have it up. And you have a little bit of a breakup because of that, because you're looking into the car and the roll cage kind of takes it out. Let me see if I can get it to, there we go. So now we can see in there a little bit better. This one as well is a right side drive. So they are both true JDMs. Right side drive on this one as well. So that's a nice comparison. Let's go ahead and flip it over and take a look underneath. We do see a little bit of sculpting underneath, mostly back here in the differential areas and kind of like where the suspension would be. Not too much up here on the front, so they got a little bit into this casting, but not too much. But you do see a little bit of detail that goes back here into that rear despoiler. So diffuser, as it goes into the back there. So that's a little bit of nice detail too. So let's go ahead and put them side by side here, get them up here on the turntable, and then we'll come back and decide which of these two castings is going to be my pick for the best casting representation of the Mazda MX-5. All right, guys. Well, this might have been a little shocker to some of you, but I was really leaning initially towards that racing setup on that MX-5, but as I was looking at this casting and just the way that it just jumps out at you and it's clean, just pure form, the additional tampos and the way that they made this car look, this was the choice that I went with. So the winner for this round for the MX-5 Miata goes to Matchbox, which moves it up to a score of, I believe that makes it 5-3. So Matchbox is still maintaining the lead. Hot Wheels closed a little bit with the win of the Shelby over the basic GT Coupe, but Matchbox is still slightly out ahead. So don't sleep on these Matchbox castings, especially not this year. If you guys remember, this is let me get these guys all lined up here and we'll put them in their winning order. This is an anniversary year for Matchbox, and typically, just like we see with Hot Wheels, you're going to see a little better castings produced in a anniversary year. This is the 70th year for Matchbox. So they're getting a little more budget, a little more room to make some better, nicer castings for the year. So if you've been sleeping on Matchbox, this is probably the year you want to start paying attention, because as their new releases come out, you're going to start seeing nicer and nicer castings. There are some JDMs coming out that I know people are going to be looking for this year. And they are really putting their best foot forward lately, trying to keep up with the team over there at Hot Wheels, who has probably 10 times the budget that the Matchbox team does. So get out there, take a look, do some comparisons for yourself. See if there are castings out there that you would prefer Matchbox, over Hot Wheels, or if you're just totally sold on how Hot Wheels does it and Matchbox is just not your thing. But I do this so that you guys are getting to look at some of these castings and you're able to kind of see them up close, see what they look like out of package, and decide for yourself if it's worth going out and trying to find some of these orange cards, vice always getting caught up looking down the aisle at the blue cards. All right, guys, so that's it for this week's matchup between Matchbox and Hot Wheels. Stay tuned next week. We're going to be putting some Italian cars head-to-head against each other. I don't want to give it away, but we're definitely going to see some Italian cars compared to each other. And we're probably going to venture into the truck world and put a couple more lifted trucks head-to-head against each other next week, so we can see what they look like in iterations from both Matchbox and Hot Wheels. But hey, if you're new to this channel, I appreciate you coming and watching. Hopefully you like this series. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button so that you can show me a little bit of love on this video. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you do subscribe. Hit that bell icon, and any new videos that I put out, you'll get a notification about them as soon as I put them out. And stay tuned. There should be some hunting videos coming up real soon. It's been kind of dry in my area, but we've got a few little hits here and there, so we'll throw those up for you to see. But as always, guys, it's Super JDM Diecast coming at you with a comparison, and I am out.